Welcome back to Dead of Night 40K. Already on to our next thing, our next mission. And $2 hit me up. I think that's how we say his name, but that's what we're gonna say. $2. I like it. Um, but two hit me up and was like, I kind of want to see what you can make out of the models that I have. So they sent me a list of the models that they have, and we're gonna try to make a 2K list. Um, Two said they kind of wanted it more geared towards fighting GSC, maybe some tips on fighting them. I haven't. Unfortunately, they're not really hard. They're kind of like one of those harder armies to find and play against, because not many people play them. So I don't have too much experience playing them. So I will say that. But reading their data sheets and kind of knowing what they're about a little bit, I think we have a lot of tools we can use to combat them. Um, I know they're kind of like a horde slash board presence army, kind of like orcs. A lot of feel no pains, sorry saves, and a lot of cheekiness like Eldar. So the problem is we are the cheeky masters. So we're gonna make a list out of this. I think I'm gonna maybe add a unit or two, because two doesn't have warp spiders. I think they'd probably be huge in fighting GSC. Just going a lone 5-pack alone, I think would be able to just kind of clear out 5-10 pack units of them with no problem. Um, so I think maybe we consider them, but let's see what else we got to play with and see what we come up with. So I'm thinking we start with this list by picking maybe some key characters here. And one of them, I think, we play the Incarn. The Incarn brings a lot to the table. That'll help you get death and destruction where you need it the most. And she'll sweep these GSC squads in melee. The Flamer is sick against them. Strength 7. I mean, you're hitting on 2s, or you're not even rolling to hit. You're just hitting them, and then they're taking their AP1 save, so they're looking at like 5-ups, generally speaking, and they're gonna be eating damage just from her flamer alone. And then also it's a gorgeous Overwatch. So I think we're gonna start there. We're gonna put the Queen in, Queen Bay. All right. Let's see. So we got Queen Bay. What else do we round it? Farseer on foot. Yep. So we gotta kind of do that to support her. One of my favorite, the best thing to do before you send her off, make sure she has that fortune on, because fortune making her hard to wound, and then on opponent's turn, if you also make her hard to hit, she's not gonna die. If opponent spends a lot of time into killing her and maybe does happen to kill her, the opponent probably used their entire army to do so, and that did two things. That wasted their turn basically, having to deal with the Incarn. The Incarn probably also killed something of theirs. By probably, absolutely, she did. She always does. Maybe two things or three. Teleport her in, shoot something with the flamer, kill it, melee something, kill it, and then after the melee, consolidate into something else. That's maybe a little bit weaker, that she could just take the hits from, and it doesn't matter after those consolidation attacks. And that also, like, she's in melee, she ties up another unit, and that unit has to fall back and maybe can't do anything, or it just has to be stuck in combat with her. And if that unit's stuck in combat and they decide to shoot the Incarn, because she's a monster, say they shoot the Incarn while she's in combat, she's already hard to hit right there. You don't even have to waste your CP in a stratagem to do that, with lightning fast reactions on her. So if she's in melee in that situation, that's cool because that saves you that CP. But always have that CP up for lightning fast. If opponent has like a aura that like makes it cost more, save that CP on your turn before you send her in, because you want her to be hard to hit and hard to wound um, on that first turn that she's in engagement. Um, just having her presence on the board alone messes with opponent's head completely. Always does. Um, so I think we start here. It's a big chunk, but it gives you some beef right off the rip, and I think it'll be good. Alright, next up. Prince Hero's cheeky. Solitaire's cool. Eldrad's cool. Bye. I don't think we really need Eldrad here, though. Because Eldrad, the Fate Dice is cool. But also, I'm not sure we need the Doom, really. Because everything's kind of low toughness for GSC. So we could maybe hold off on Eldrad. Oh, our Way Leaper. We gotta get our Way Leaper in. I'm not sure how 2's Way Leaper is set up. But we'll just set it up like I'm doing mine. Now we'll give him the gem. Everybody wants the gem. But I'm gonna... Hey, what's up? Oh, looks like Magan Ra himself wanted to stop in and say hello. So, alright, welcome back. Welcome back, Dead of Night. Autarch Wayleaper, Manda Blasters, Phoenix Gem, okay. No, you're gonna try the Fates Messenger. So, Phoenix Gem is cool. Fates Messenger also is a defensive buff, okay? I'm trying to sell everybody on this. The defensive buff, we get, you know, we can cheek one of our saves even, you know, so we still get that durability piece, and it's just so much cheaper. You get to save 20 points, and that kind of goes an extra mile when a lot of our things just keep getting raised in points. Our Swooping Hawks, our Warp Spiders, like all of our tools just keeps going up in points. So like anywhere we can save it, it's kind of cool. But with the Fates Messenger, Manda Blasters, Starglaive, and I like the Death Spinner here. Like Autarch Wayleaper also has grenades. He just turns into a little Mortal Wound, and Dev Wound Bomb himself. Just send the Wayleaper in, kill 2 to 3 Terminators, and just have a good day. You're literally guaranteed. So you go up to a tank. Say we shot this tank with a Bright Lance. The tank's at 5 wounds remaining. We'll say it's a Land Raider, a big old tank too. Our little Wayleaper rolls up, moves 14 inches, lone op, so like we can get him into position fairly easy. Rolls up, throws a grenade. 1 CP, we throw a grenade. Okay, we roll 2 4-ups. We rolled bad. There's two mortal wounds, Land Raider. Land Raider's at 3. Okay, we shoot it with our Death Spinner. Say, you know, we got 4 shots with the Death Spinner, maybe 1 dev. We got a dev out of the Death Spinner, so that's 3. 2 more to go. We charge the Land Raider. In melee, we have our Starglaive, does 2 damage. Oh, we can't do it in melee. We gotta do it in... I guess we can't use it against the vehicle. I almost forgot. Manda Blaster doesn't work against monsters or vehicles. But we could use it to kill those Terminators. Always. Anyways, even the Death Spinner and the grenade scenario, you could still maybe cheek out that Land Raider, because say you roll a natural 6 for a Dev Wound on the Death Spinner, Eldar reroll, we have another 6. That's 2 more Dev Wounds. So 2 Dev Wounds, 2 to 3 mortals from a grenade, you're popping a tank or a hard target. A target that's way out of the Wayleaper's weight class. And when you have a unit in your army that can kind of fight against anything, that unit's very valuable. And the Eldar have a lot of units that kind of can fit that role with our dev wounds throughout our list. And I've been trying to preach kind of the dev wounds here, because that is so much like guaranteed damage usually, minus feel no pains of course, but so much damage that just passes through saves. Like we'll just skip the dice, you know, like just take your damage, unless you have the feel no pain obviously. But try it out. Even if you have to maybe proxy it, try it out. I know it's kind of hard to get a solo death spinner and convert a way leaper. Everybody's got to build way leaper. So, but yeah, try that out. Alternatively, even this setup with the Dragon Fusion Gun, I think is still really good. So you still kind of have your dev wounds in melee. Your Dragon Fusion Gun with Fate's Messenger, you could slap a 6 damage on there. If you get a shot through, and maybe you're in melter range too, here's 9 damage to a tank. Make your invul save. If you don't, here's 9. So a lot of different things we could do with the Way Leaper. I think there's 3 characters, 560 points. That's fair. Maybe another character or two. I was really looking at Assman himself. Yeah, we're gonna run him here. We're gonna run him. I think he's actually really good against GSC anyways. Oh, we gotta make this man our warlord. Okay, he's really good against GSC anyways because you get a second Overwatch for free, which will be needed. And with this Overwatch, you're hitting on at most 5s. So what we need to do with him is get a 10-pack of Dire Avengers. We'll have this very salty second Overwatch. This man always rocks 2 catapults. And what else was there a there is a Wave Serpent. So that could be interesting too. Throw him in a Wave Serpent. Have that protection. But then say you don't want them in a Wave Serpent, what else could we stick in there in its place? Scorpions. I think we just run the Scorpions solo on the ground. I've been having a lot of success with them, and you might need them to like zone out the battlefield against GSC with their infiltrate. Because if they're ahead, you can zone out your backfield fairly easily yourself. But if you also have these guys just up there being a nuisance, then it might help your cause against the GSC. I like to go Claw, and I think Claw's probably good here because Strength 8. What are these guys looking at? Yeah, this Goliath truck's T9. Okay, so you'll still need 5s to wound there, but we got the. I don't know. I take the Claw. Just take the Claw. Yeah. And if the Claw connects, just take the Claw. I understand. Everybody likes the blade, but I like the Claw. There's not much of a difference in reality, except the Claw is cool because it's our own. There's like the only Eldar Power Fist there is, so it's like you have to play with it. So cool. We got some screening Scorpions, and they'll also be good at just charging and probably killing fairly well GSC. Alright, so Scorpions are in. The Troop and the Solitaire, or the... no, he doesn't. He has Solitaire. I was looking for a Troop Master, because maybe they could do some devs too. Because you got the Star Weaver here. I think we run the Shadow Specters, definitely. We have a 5-pack, definitely run them. I'm gonna go say you have the Exarch in the 5-pack. That's probably the way to go with them. You also have the Phoenix Lord of theirs. Hitting on 2s. What's the... Yeah, we could do the D6 profile with Blast. Yeah, maybe... That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. And then they could also turn into an Overwatch unit with Irilith. And I don't think... Nobody knows how to deal with Irilith. I wonder if you have Baja. Do you have Baja? No. This is a run Baja Irilith and just kind of have that cheeky shooting all day with those 2 units. Some cool Shadow Specters. Skyweavers. So I think that's another piece here that'll be good at popping the transports. they're still just a sick, awesome, amazing unit in general. It'll give you another melee threat, which I think you'll need here. Also, as soon as the Dire Avengers die and Assman's alone, you charge him at the biggest, baddest thing you could find. And then you just hang out, make your 3-up invols, and just go to town with the Sword of Asur and have a good day. Alright, so we're going to add the Skyweavers. Um, Again, we kind of want that melee element with them, so we're going to go with the Zephyr Glaive. We're going to truck tanks and transports, all the vehicles with these bad boys. Let's see what's next. We're at 1,300 points, so we're getting close. I think we do kind of need some more anti-tank stuff, just to kind of flush things out. Wraithlord's kind of neat here because it's another hard target opponent has to deal with. It's really tough. So isn't the Warwalker. I think the Warwalker's awkwardly tough for GSC too because they're hard to wound. So I don't think it'll hurt just having a solo Warwalker with a couple Bright Lances. You also can use it to support the Scorpions with his scout move. So let's get that Warwalker in here. Where'd he go? There he is. 2 Bright Lances. Cool. Alright. 1410. We don't necessarily need the Rangers. Maybe one squad will be cool. Also, he does have Illic, so that whole thing is just cool. Actually, I think that's what we do here. We'll put the Ranger 10-pack and Illic in the list. Where's Illic? Ranger 10-pack. Cool. Now, what we're going to do here, too, is also add the Wave Serpent. So Wave Serpent will give us a Twin-Linked Bright Lance, a Shrieking Cannon. Now, there's 2 things we could do here with this Wave Serpent, which is cool. That's matchup dependent, and maybe how you feel, whatever. So the first thing is we could shove the Rangers and Illic in it, which does a lot of weird things, because you can cart them around and kind of get them in position fairly quickly. It keeps them safe. I understand they have Lone Op as a unit, but it keeps them safe. You can use the Wave Serpent to kind of block any sort of path to them getting charged, so it just kind of turns into a wall for them. And if somehow they can get by the Wave Serpent, you can just rely on your move, your cheeky D6-inch move when they get near you. So, some cool possibilities there. And then, alternatively, you have a Sermon and the Dire Avengers you can throw in there. Which, another, making sure they have protection is good, but you also want them on the board most of the game. So, I'd say turn 1, keep them in the Serpent, but turn 2, you want them out there, you want them shooting things, you want them overwatching. You want to get them in a good position where they can overwatch on 4s even as well. So keep that in mind, but it gives you kind of a dual purpose for the Wave Serpent. And having the Wave Serpent gives you another tough body and another Bright Lance platform. And some Shrieking Cannon shots. You'd be surprised how far like a few Shrieking Cannon shots under a Serpent or a Falcon will go if you just throw them at a unit that the Shrieking Cannon is good at shooting at. Like, one volley of Shrieking Cannon shots here or there, next thing you know, you're killing 2 or 3 models in a random squad, just across the board, helping out another unit that needs it. So splitting fire with your vehicle is really good. Actually making sure that they're shooting at these weapons are shooting at targets they're good at eliminating. Put the vehicles up there, let them do their job, let them split fire, take care of units, soften up everything. Bright Lances at the big targets, Shrieking Cannons at the mid-sized targets, We want that shooting to be effective. Like, don't let that shrieking cannon underneath go to waste. Don't be just rolling threes and sixes just because of threes and fives. Even we don't want that. Roll your threes and your twos. Kill three infantry units, three infantry models off the table. Soften that unit up. Get that damage in. The more models off the table is the less you got to deal with at the end of the day. Um, so we got a few points left, and I think normally here I'd probably say maybe fit your warp spiders in. Let's see what it looks like. Then we'll go back to what you have. Yeah, you could easily slam 2 squads of spiders in here. You got a weird, interesting list though. Like, it's a lot to deal with. A lot of cheekiness. 4, 5, 6, 7. 13 separate units. So that's a little light on the units, but we have a lot of heroes. Maybe that's what we need to do is kind of sack a hero. Probably a Urlith. We'll just let the Shadow Specters do their thing. Maybe even get rid of that. Yeah, a little 5-pack of Specters. Let them do their job, and then give us a little more points. And I think then we could just throw in, like, I think Wind Rider's really cool here. Also the Wraith Lord. Um, the Wraith Lord could be a good piece. Another durable body, toughness 11. I think Gene Stealer Cult would have a tough time dealing with him as well. And like, if you're dealing with the Incarn, you're not dealing with the Wraith Lord. If you're dealing with the Wraith Lord, you're probably not dealing with the Incarn. If you're dealing with either of them, you're really not dealing with this Wave Serpent. So having like multiple instances of these bigger tough models, it does matter. And if they're not trying to take one down a turn, they're letting them live. You want them to live. The Incarn is just as good at 1 wound as it is at 12. Um, and so is the Wraith Lord. Hitting on 4s, it doesn't feel good though. I can never, like, it doesn't feel good. And it's almost a waste to add a Spirit Seer with him. Um, Now, alternatively, let's go back. Let's get rid of these spiders. And I think what you have in your army is one of my favorite things I used to like to do, is run the Incarn with like a 10 brick of guard, which I think we might have enough points for. It'll be tight. So there's the guard. And then definitely need the Spirit Seer. And I think I kind of like the Weeping Stones here, but you don't really have to take anything. I don't think these days. Oh, puts us in an interesting place. 35 over. We'll get rid of that. 20 over. Where do we save 20 points? We could turn this Ranger into a 5-pack. Let's try that. Because ultimately, these guys just want to be killing characters anyways. That gives us some points. So that'll give you some points to play with. Maybe you could add the Phoenix Gem if you wanted instead. Yeah. Then we'll give Spirit Seer Weeping Stones. That'll give you some leeway to kind of play with your enhancements. So this is a character-heavy list for sure. Eldar play a lot of character-heavy. I think some weaknesses so far is it's kind of minimal numbers compared to GSC. Things you have to combat that though is probably just running all these Guardians, just spreading out wide, running a 5-pack a troop, running the Rangers 5-pack solo. Honestly, let's try that. We'll do that, and then we get rid of Illic maybe. Lower our character count. Okay. Go back to none here. Also means the Fates Messenger at the end of the day. You got 50 points. wish I knew how many Wind Riders. Because Wind Riders are really good. So, you know, 6-pack's probably not bad. Well, you know, we're just gonna rock with what you got, and this looks pretty cool. Um, Maybe some things you could purchase, you know, going to GSC are the Warp Spiders. Another good option I feel is probably the Swooping Hawks. Just like infantry units that give you that big volume of fire. Something else you might need with this sort of list too is guide. So Farseer Skyrunner to guide the Dire Avengers gets really crazy, and you, the guide also affects their Overwatch. So you're basically shooting twice with them, and it could get wild with their lethal hits and things like that. Another unit that supports them really well is the Viper, because the Viper could tag something. Now, next thing you know, you're ignoring cover, so your catapult shots are getting that AP1 in, and it can be pretty devastating if you get a lot of them in, especially the lethal hits. So maybe keep that in mind. Guide is also really good for the 10 brick of Wraithguard for the same reasons. So guiding them, overwatching, shooting, getting their extra shot in themselves. Don't forget too, if you're playing them as a 10 brick, you really want to screen for them. So like in this scenario, it's really cool because we got 2 Rangers and 2 Scorpions infiltrating up front of the board, and it gives us breathing room for our Wraithguard to move up and get into position where they need to be, usually down opponent's throat. And it also gives us some blocking space for the guard, so they can't just get charged immediately. You know, we have some breathing room. We can shoot. If they decide to shoot, maybe they're also in range of whatever they're after. And this puts them in a really awful place because they have to figure out if they want to deal with the Incarn or the Wraithguard brick. The Wraithguard brick also gives you an alternative use for your Farseer, because generally after the Farseer gets his fortune off on the Incarn, she disappears, and then he's just kind of sitting there on your home objective waiting to fortune something again. There's usually sometimes nothing around, which feels bad. So the Wraithguard brick usually isn't that far ahead. So he could be right there to fortune them, and when they're also hard to wound, oh my goodness. Good luck. So I think we have a lot of cool ideas here. I think there's some units you two can get to kind of expand on his list and his fighting the GSC. If there's something you see you don't like, maybe add these Wind Riders in. I think they have a strong case. Even a 3-pack is probably okay. Another good unit you might want to consider, since we're talking about jet bikes, is just our Shroud Runners. Our scatter laser shots in the GSC can't be terrible. Like, make your 5-up saves, you know. And then we have a few more Ranger long rifles to kind of pick off characters and do weird things. They have a lot of characters, so maybe consider Assassinate as a fixed secondary. If you do that, then also maybe either deploy, well, it used to be deploy teleport homers, or you know, behind enemy lines or engage on all fronts. Those are usually kind of easier for us because, you know, especially here we can spread out with all the infiltrators. You got your scout move from the Warwalker. Like, you're gonna have board presence, and which is what we kind of want because it gives us room for our Wraithguard, and it gives us specific places where we can just insert the Incarn and go to town. And if they're dealing with all of that and just like not even worrying about the rest of your army, like, you could get some good melees in with the Scorpions on his chaff and just kill him. You know, you can get the Incarn where they're dealing with the Incarn. Well, guess what? The Autarch Wayleaver is going to come up and just probably kill a 5-pack in chaff too. You know, leave the Sermon, the Dire Avengers alone, and the Wave Serpent. You know, so we got some cool options here. I hope you enjoy the list. Any questions you guys have, throw them in the comments. I really look forward to like doing more things like this. This is super neat, super exciting. I get to kind of build lists off of the models that you guys have, which is probably sometimes the biggest questions you have. What do I run with what I have, you know? Or maybe what do I got to purchase next? What has not been working for me? What could work for me, you know? Like, everybody's situation is kind of different. Everybody kind of plays different. And that's one of the biggest things that I should mention here is, if you're running units that you generally are just like good at playing with, keep playing with them. If this Dire Avenger unit in a sermon is just always wrecking house for you, and you're always trading up with that unit, why let it go? You're good with that unit. Keep playing with it. Keep pushing them to their limit. Try try doing that with units that are garbage, maybe per se. Like we could talk about Corsairs, for example. You know, there's ways we can use them. The Corsairs have a scout move, etc. So we kind of put them in the place of the Scorpions, maybe of one squad of Scorpions. But both units do kind of different things. The Corsairs are a little more toolboxy in their shooting, but the Scorpions are more direct, and we're gonna get in melee, do some devs, hopefully. Um, well, let me know what you guys think, and until next time, enjoy the Echo.